Welcome to Richa Publishing Minds. It's such a joy to have you with us today. If you love stories that explore the complicated beauty of human relationships, love, misunderstandings, pride, mistakes, and the courage to grow, then you're in the perfect place. Today, we're diving into one of the most beloved classics of all time, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. A novel full of witty dialogue, sharp social observations, unforgettable characters, and a love story that still resonates after more than 200 years. So relax, get comfortable, and let's step into the world of the Bennets, a family that lives with constant worry, dazzling humor, unrestrained emotions, and unforgettable drama. The Bennet family and the problem of marriage. The story begins in the English countryside, with the Bennet family, Mr. and Mrs. Bennet and their 5 daughters, Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, and Lydia. Their world is simple, but their situation is complicated. The Bennet estate is inherited through male line only, meaning, if Mr. Bennet dies, the daughters will have nothing. Marriage isn't just romance, it's survival. Mrs. Bennet, dramatic and desperate, spends her life trying to marry off her daughters, especially to wealthy men. She is often ridiculous, occasionally embarrassing, but painfully aware of the stakes. Enter Mr. Bingley, a wealthy, cheerful gentleman, who rents a nearby estate called Netherfield. He arrives with his haughty sister and his mysterious friend, Mr. Darcy. Mrs. Bennet goes into emotional overdrive, convinced that Bingley is the answer to their financial survival. And in a world where wealth equals respect, everyone watches him closely. First impressions: Bingley and Jane, Elizabeth and Darcy. At the local ball, Bingley is instantly captivated by Jane Bennet, beautiful, gentle, and kind. There is something pure and effortless between them. Elizabeth, the second daughter, intelligent, spirited, with a sharp sense of humor, watches with warm amusement. Her joy is simple. Jane deserves happiness. But Elizabeth herself encounters something very different. When Mr. Darcy refuses to dance with her, calling her not handsome enough to tempt me. Elizabeth hears it, and a spark ignites, not of love, but of humiliation and anger. In that moment, she decides, Darcy is proud, cold, and arrogant. Her prejudice begins, and she doesn't hide it. Meanwhile, Darcy observes Elizabeth too. Not beauty at first, but intelligence, confidence, and charm. The more he sees her, the more he realizes she is unlike anyone he has ever known. Inside him, attraction quietly begins to grow. But his pride keeps him distant. The world of status and appearances. The relationship between Jane and Bingley seems destined to blossom. But his snobbish sister believes that Jane's family is beneath him. The Bennets, especially Mrs. Bennet, often behave socially outrageous, making the wealthy families uncomfortable, even disgusted. In a world obsessed with class, reputation, and wealth, love has its own rules, but society has stricter ones. The tension isn't just economic, but personal. Between families, values, and expectations. Elizabeth, unlike others, refuses to bend to those expectations. She values honesty over etiquette, and self-respect over money. And that difference threatens everyone who wants to maintain the status quo. Mr. Collins and the proposal of nightmares. Enter Mr. Collins, a pompous clergyman who will inherit the Bennet estate when Mr. Bennet dies. He arrives with the bizarre idea that marrying one of the Bennet sisters will somehow make things less awkward. He proposes, not with love, but with entitlement, to Elizabeth. She rejects him confidently, much to her mother's horror. Mrs. Bennet sees a guarantee of financial stability slipping away. Elizabeth sees a lifetime of misery avoided. Collins quickly proposes to Charlotte Lucas, Elizabeth's sensible, practical best friend, who accepts, not because she loves him, but because she is realistic. Charlotte's acceptance reflects a harsh truth. For women, marriage is often a choice between love and survival. Elizabeth respects Charlotte, but grieves for her. The mysterious Mr. Wickham. Elizabeth soon meets Mr. Wickham, a handsome officer with a tragic story. He claims Darcy denied him inheritance promised by Darcy's father. He paints Darcy as cruel and unjust, confirming everything Elizabeth wants to believe. She trusts him easily, because his version fits her prejudice. Darcy remains silent, but wounded. The separation of Jane and Bingley. Darcy convinces Bingley to distance himself from Jane, persuading him that her affection isn't deep enough, and that her family is embarrassing. Jane is heartbroken, though she quietly absorbs her pain. Elizabeth sees Darcy's interference as unforgivable. Darcy, believing he is protecting Bingley from a mismatched marriage, ignores the emotional cost. The proposal. love and fire. Elizabeth visits Charlotte and Collins, where she meets Darcy again, awkward, conflicted, and visibly drawn to her. Struggling between pride and desire, Darcy eventually confesses his love and proposes. But his proposal is devastating. He declares love while simultaneously insulting her family and low social status. Elizabeth rejects him fiercely. Her words cut deeper than any blow. "How could you behave in such a manner to my sister?" Darcy, shocked, leaves in torment. Later, he writes her a letter, revealing the truth about Wickham and explaining why he separated Bingley and Jane. Not out of cruelty, but concern. The letter shatters Elizabeth's certainty. She realizes her judgments were built not on truth, but on assumptions and pride. Her world shifts, and slowly, painfully, she begins to change. The scandal, Lydia and Wickham. Chaos arrives when Lydia, the youngest and wildest Bennet sister, runs away with Wickham. Not married, just reckless. In their society, such a scandal can destroy the entire family, and ruin every sister's prospects. Mr. Bennet is furious. Mrs. Bennet collapses. Elizabeth is terrified. Unexpectedly, Darcy steps in quietly. He finds the couple, pays Wickham to marry her, clears debt, saves their reputation, and tells no one. Elizabeth learns about this, and her heart breaks with gratitude and humility. She begins to see Darcy not as proud, but as honorable. Darcy isn't perfect, but he has grown. And so has Elizabeth, love finding its way back. Bingley returns, guided not by Darcy, but by his own heart. This time, he proposes to Jane, and she, radiant, accepts. Their happiness is gentle and pure. Elizabeth and Darcy meet again, changed, softer, wiser. What once was misunderstanding becomes mutual respect. What once was pride becomes vulnerability. What once was prejudice becomes clarity. Darcy proposes again, not with arrogance, but love. And Elizabeth, transformed by growth and self-reflection, accepts. Their story is not one of instant passion, but painful evolution. Two flawed humans choosing each other not despite their imperfections, but because of them. The heart of the story, Pride and Prejudice, is not just a love story. It is a reminder that pride blinds us, prejudice misleads us, and misunderstandings can destroy what we never gave a chance to grow. It teaches us that maturity isn't about perfection, but about courage, to accept mistakes, question our own assumptions, and open our hearts. Darcy and Elizabeth don't fall in love at first sight. They grow into love, painfully, honestly, beautifully. Ending note to viewers. Thank you so much for spending time with Richa Publishing Minds. We hope this emotional and heartfelt journey through Pride and Prejudice brought you joy, reflection, and maybe even a new love for classic literature. We would love to hear from you. Which character resonated with you the most? Do you believe love can survive pride? And have you ever misjudged someone, only to discover a truth that changed everything? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. If you enjoyed this summary, please like, share, and subscribe to Richa Publishing Minds for more meaningful book summaries, emotional stories, and powerful ideas. Your support helps us bring more stories to life. Until next time, keep reading, keep questioning, and keep growing.